All right, so we are going to be starting chapter 6, which is dealing with a lot of the similar things that we talked about in chapter 5, but now we're going to talk about it in terms of radian measure instead of in degrees. And so we need to figure out what is radian measure and why do we even need it. And so what radian measure does is it relates the measure of an angle to the length of the arc that it intercepts. So back in the day before calculators and Egyptians were trying to figure out things, they came up with this random number of 60 degrees as the measure of an angle of an equilateral triangle. And then they figured out that one full revolution was 360. And what was nice about those numbers is they were divisible by a lot of things. So you didn't have to worry about things that you would have to calculate long for, right? But there was no relationship between that degree measure and the length of the arc on the circle. And so what radian measure tries to do is bring both of those together, and it makes some great things happen. So what we mean by that is that if I placed a string on this radius right here, and it was a purple piece of string, and then I placed a piece of string along that arc. So that's called the intercepted arc right there. And I replaced that with a red string. Then when I held up the purple string and the red string together, they would be the same length. So 1 radian measure on the unit circle is the measure of an angle in standard position that intercepts an arc that is 1 unit long. Okay, so if this is a unit circle and I put down that purple piece of string where it ended, that would be the angle that represents 1 radian measure. So let's think about what does that mean in terms of how does that angle system relate to degrees and what does it even look like? So let's go back to circumference. So circumference is the distance around a circle. And so that means that circumference is 2 pi r. We remember that hopefully from like 5th grade or 7th grade, right? So in a unit circle, we know that r is equal to 1. So that means that the distance around the circle is 2 pi, right? And so that means the angle representing 1 revolution is going to be 2 pi radians. So where 1 revolution in degrees is 360 degrees, 1 revolution in radians is going to be 2 pi because the distance around the unit circle is 2 pi. Okay, so that means that we're going to start at 0 on that positive x-axis, and then 1 full revolution is 2 pi. So half of a revolution would then be 1 pi, because that's half of 2 pi. And then 1/4 of a revolution would be pi over 2, so half of pi. So that means from here I can count 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, and then 4 pi over 2 represents 2 pi. So now we need to find a way, how do I go back and forth between degrees and radians? So we're going to set up a proportion that says the degree measure over 360 is equal to the radian measure over 2 pi. So it's the measure of the angle divided by its system, like 1 revolution in the system. That tells you what fraction of the circle are we covering. And so we're going to let D stand for degree, and we're going to let R stand for radian, and then we're going to solve for D so that if I know the radian measure, I can turn it into degrees. So if I multiply both sides by 360, I get R over 2 pi times 360. And then reducing, 2 goes into 2 once, and into 360 180 times. So we get that degree is going to be the radian measure times 180 over pi. So I always say radian measure has pi in it, so divide out the pi and bring in the degree. When we solve for R, then I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 pi. And so I get D over 360 times 2 pi. And again, 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 360 180 times. And so we get that the radian measure is equal to degrees times pi over 180. So 180 is a degree measure, so you're dividing out the degrees and bringing in the radians, just like we would in chemistry. All right, so then the directions are asking us to change each degree measure into radians. And it said leave the answer in terms of pi. So that means don't use your pi button in your calculator. It is much easier to do this process with a calculator. So if you don't have one on you, I would find one. If not, you just have to be really good at reducing. So remember we said we always have either pi over 180 or 180 over pi. So let's say it again, pi over 180 or 180 over pi. So in this case, I've got degrees and I want to change them to radians. So I'm going to divide out the degrees and bring in the radians, right? So then we want to reduce this. So notice I can reduce it by 10 and say that I have 25 pi over 18. Or in my calculator, I can have it reduce it for me. So we have this lovely button called a fraction button. So I can type in, and I'm going to ignore the pi for right now. If I type in 250 over 180 and I press equals, you'll notice it gives me 1 and 7/18. But I don't want my answer as a mixed number. So I'm going to press shift. Then I'm going to press the fraction button again. And notice it's saying change it from a mixed number to an improper fraction. And when I press equals, you'll see that I get 25 over 18. So looking at question B, again, we want to divide out the degrees and bring in the radian measure. So if we reduce that, 18 goes into 18 one time, and 18 goes into 180 10 times. And so we get pi over 10. So take a moment to see, pause the video and see if you can do C. What would we get in terms of pi? And so you'll notice we want to, again, divide out the degrees and bring in the radians. And then I can do 135 fraction 180 equals, and I get 3/4. So that's going to be 3 pi over 4. But then don't forget, we have this negative sign in the front, so I'm still going to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So the next section is asking for the reverse, that I have it in radians and I want to change it to degrees. And they're allowing us to round our answer to the nearest tenth, so we don't have to have pi in our answer. So if we take a look at this one, notice here I divided out the degrees and multiplied in the radians. Now I want to divide out the radians and bring in the degrees. So you'll notice that the pi's cancel, and I just get 4 times 180. So 4 times 180 gives me 720 degrees. So what I want you to notice about that is 4 pi is 2 full revolutions, because it's 2 times 2 pi, and 2 full revolutions is 720 degrees. All right, so then when we look at the next one, again, we want to divide out the radians and bring in the degrees. So we're going to cancel the pi's, and we're left with negative 180 over 2. And so hopefully you recognize that that is negative 90 degrees. So if I go pi over 2 in the clockwise direction, that's the same as going 90 degrees in the clockwise direction. So take a moment to try C. Remember, we're dividing out the radians and bringing in the degrees. So what would 1 radian be in degrees? So pause the video and go ahead and calculate that. And so if we do 180 divided by, and don't use 3.14, actually use your pi button. So 180 divided by pi and then equals, and you'll see that 1 radian measure is about 57.3 degrees. So that's how many degrees it takes for the 1 unit on the radius to be the same as the 1 unit around the circle. The piece of string would be the same. All right, so some things to remember are when you're working in radians, you typically leave your answer in terms of pi, and you do not round. Also, radians have no markings, so if you just see 2 pi, then assume that that's 2 pi radians. When we have degrees, you're always going to see a bubble. So you'll notice in the past, every single time I was using degree, assuming that I wasn't getting lazy, I always put a bubble at the top.